Senhoras e senhores, bom dia novamente. Retornamos para a segunda e última parte do nosso evento. Iniciaremos agora a mesa redonda com o tema Como se conectar com os professores das universidades. Dada a constituição da equipe que fará essa apresentação, que inclui diversos colegas de universidades estrangeiras que não falam a língua portuguesa, essa próxima apresentação será realizada em inglês. Eu apresento agora os nossos convidados. Vinda da Universidade Técnica de Munique, da Alemanha, a senhora Melanie Frank. Da Universidade de Münster, da Alemanha, a senhora Laura Redondo. Da Universidade Livre de Berlim, da Alemanha, o senhor Christian Lazar. Da Universidade de Alberta, do Canadá, o senhor Carlos Montes. Da Universidade de Queens, do Canadá, a senhora Cecília Wolford. Do Caldo Consórcio do Canadá, o senhor Rodrigo Delgado. Da Universidade de Bayreuth, da Alemanha, o senhor Thorsten Parchent. E do consórcio Calariel do Canadá, Jill Sherman. Como entrevistadores, nós recebemos, representando a Arex, a professora Ana Cristina e a técnica Patrícia Spadaro. Além disso, representando a própria EG, nós recebemos o senhor Bruno Tanaka. Bruno, eu passo a palavra a você.
Thank you, Thiago. So good morning, everyone. It's a big honor to receive our guests for such important university. So once again, thank you for accepting our invitation. In order to start our roundtable, I'd like to invite Professor Ana Cristina Bion Salomão to start the questions. We'll have one question that all guests will answer, and then we open questions for the audience for a Menti form that I will show in the following moments. For our guests, each one will have 4 minutes for the first question. And if you have a presentation that you shared with us, please just say to show it, and then we quickly share on the screen. For the second moment, if you want to answer the question from the audience, please use the Google Meet resource to raise your hand, and then we'll pass the mic for you. So, Professor Ana Cristina, feel free to start.
Thank you, Bruno. First, I would like to welcome our guests and thank them for participating here today with us. This is an important space for them to talk about their universities, and we'll open for questions from the audience, as Bruno mentioned, very soon. So the question we have for them is this. Can you tell us a bit about your university, where it is located, and the major areas that are covered in doctorates, opportunities for doctorates, for masters, or for postdocs? We would also like to know if you accept exchange mobility students and how our students can find a professor. So I'll give the floor to Melanie Frank, I'm sorry, from the Technical University of Munich. Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you so much, obrigada. And I will start with a short presentation of our university, the Technical University of Munich. So where it is located, it's in the south of Germany, in Bavaria, and our main campus is in the heart of the city of Munich. And we have 3 other campuses around, located in neighboring towns of Munich. These towns are Garching, Freising, and Straubing. In our major areas, there it's important to keep in mind that we are a technical university, which means that the focus is on the natural sciences, on mathematics, engineering, medicine, and health. But another important topic at TUM is entrepreneurship. That means that TUM encourages its students, employees, scientists, and alumni who want to start a company with their ideas or technology. We have for that the TUM School of Management, where technology and the knowledge on technology and management and business is combined. And last but not least, we have a School of Social Sciences and Technology, where the scientists work at the interface of social sciences and technological expertise. To the question whether we are interested in doctorates, masters, or postdocs, all 3 categories, you're always welcome to start at TUM. Me personally, I work at the graduate school, and we are responsible for doctoral candidates. I will quickly share my screen with a QR code. You should see that now. That leads you to more information on how to start a doctorate at TUM. And we also accept exchange mobility students, so for example, guest doctoral candidates. In fact, UNESCO and TUM have a research exchange program. That means that doctoral candidates can receive funding for spending 3 to 6 months at the partner university. And the last question of how to find a supervisor or a professor. That's really important that if you do not know a potential supervisor yet personally, you search on our website in the respective TUM department. So you find someone in this department website who really focuses on your research topic and your areas of interest. And if you have found a team, a research chair, who has a research focus that fits your interests, you can then contact a professor or a postdoc, an employee, directly with your application materials, a CV, a research proposal, and a cover letter. Another possibility that is very important at our university are the job offers for research associates. It's very common, as in a lot of German universities, that you you have an assistant doctorate. It's a traditional way to earn a doctoral degree in Germany. That means you're employed by TUM, and you then can just apply to a job offer for a research assistant and do your doctorate as an employee at TUM. Maybe another idea that I would like to add in for the question how you can find a professor, that the first part is, of course, the first aspect, the match between your interests and the work of the professor or your potential supervisor. But you would also work very closely with your supervisor. So it's also important that there is a personal match, that you have a good interpersonal relationship with your supervisor. So if you have, for example, a job interview for a position at TUM, take this opportunity to also ask questions, how the work life, the everyday research routines look like, and how working in a team at TUM would look for you. That would be my short presentation and short answers to your questions.
Thank you very much, Melanie. There was not in the questions, but the languages accepted are German and English?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. In the end, when everybody presents, we can go back and have a round of questions to everyone. Thank you. So now I'll give the floor to Laura Redondo from University of Münster, also in Germany. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Ana Cristina. Thank you all for having me today. Well, my name is Laura Redondo, and actually I'm based in Sao Paulo. So a few of my colleagues who are also present here, or I guess another one of my colleagues who's present here has also an office in Sao Paulo. We are based in the city of Sao Paulo, but in the south part, it's in the German Center for Research and Innovation. I actually represent the Brazil Center of the University of Münster, meaning that our university has a strong focus in the collaboration with Brazilian counterparts. We have a very long-standing tradition of research collaboration with Brazil, with many universities in many areas of research. We actually been to UNESP's AREX office last week and talked with several colleagues there. We are looking forward to a more close contact and institutional contact in order to enable other possibilities. But since we are talking about doctorate programs and postdoc possibilities, it is important to stress what has been said before. The mobility in the postgraduate level does not require any mobility agreement between universities. So any researcher from the doctoral level upwards from UNESCO can do a doctoral stay or a postdoctoral stay in Münster at any time, required that they have already a letter of invitation from one of our professors. You can do research in Münster in any area you might be interested in. We have 15 departments or 15 faculties in the University of Münster, and we cover most of the research areas that you can imagine, but with the exception of engineering. So if you come from the engineering, maybe you can find something in the area of informatics, information systems, mathematics, physics, material sciences, nanosciences, but not exactly in engineering. We do have some impact areas that we say in our university, and we divide them in four big areas. Dynamic societies, which cover, for instance, religion and society, dynamics of social plurality, accessing cultures, addressing law. Then healthy individuals, cell dynamics, inflammation and imaging, and individualization. We also have conceptual foundation and emerging technologies with nanosciences, quantum science, education and technology, mathematics, and interdisciplinary computing and artificial intelligence. And finally, sustainable futures, battery research, biopolymers, and exploring and shaping sustainability. These are, of course, only reference areas. You can do research, as I said, in any of our 15 faculties. I will leave some links in the chat that you can look afterwards. But it's important to know that, as my colleague from the Technical University of Munich mentioned, it's important to approach your possible host, being for your doctoral studies or your postdoc research stay, that you approach the host and you explain what are your research interests, why are you looking for a position in his or her lab or institution, and make a strong case of your application, of your inquiry. Because they receive several applications every day from people from all over the world and also from Germans. So you have to find out a way to connect with this person, as Melanie said, on the personal and research level. So do not write a spam email that you send to many other professors. Write a very targeted email with a very short one, with your short resume and your intentions with this professor, and then you enhance the chance of being accepted. And just to some final words, Münster is a small city for Brazilian standards, but a big city for German standards. It's a 300,000 inhabitant city located close to the border of the Netherlands. And it has so many students. We have a large university, so the profile of the city is like a university city. It's very similar to some of the UNESCO campi, where a smaller town has many students and researchers, so it makes it very lively and very nice. So if you're curious, I can send you some information afterwards, and I would like to use the opportunity just to quickly share our contact information, if you don't mind. Here, I guess I can't share my screen. Never mind, I can put it in the chat, so you can have my contact information, and you can contact me here in São Paulo at any time.
Thank you, Laura. So thank you for sending the information on the chat. We'll be forwarding all these links that you have shared, and Melanie's as well, to the participants after the event. And so these were great tips for students on how to approach professors and try to find to connect with them. Just one more question. The languages accepted are also German and English? Okay.
Yes, so it really depends on your host. So if the host is available to receive you and to do research with you in English, it's no problem. The university itself does not require any particular language for doing research. It's the host that defines that. And even in some cases, if your host is specialist in, I don't know, in Latin American history, sometimes it can happen that you can also do your research in Spanish. But those are very punctual cases.
Okay, thank you. So our next guest is also from Germany, from the Free University of Berlin. Christian Lazar, the floor is yours. Christian, can you hear us?
Professor, would you like to change to go to another professor?
Yeah, perhaps.
invite
perhaps
you.
we'll go to another,
Yeah.
another guest, and then we can come
Yeah.
back to Christian when he's ready to participate. Christian, let us know in the chat when you're ready, okay?
I can figure it out now.
Yeah, I think he's here now, Christian.
Okay, good.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
It's okay.
I have some slides to present. I don't know if you can see it.
Not yet. Are you?
Now?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter. Anyways,
No.
what I wanted to say is just something that can be done only by speaking as well. So thank you already, Laura.
I think it's,
and
sorry,
okay.
Christian, the slides are there. I think it's probably the internet that's a little slowing things down, but the slides are there. Just
Yeah,
put them.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm very happy to be part of this event, and I'll be very happy to tell you a little bit about Freie Universität Berlin, as much as 4 minutes allow me to. And yeah, so the university is located, as the name says. You can switch to the next slide, please. As the name suggests, FU Berlin is located in the city of Berlin, but as you can see, it's a little bit in the southwestern part of the city. So it's different from University of Münster, or for example, the Technical University of Munich. It's not located at the heart of the city. It's a little bit outside, but you know, it's you can reach it by a 15 to 20 minute subway ride, so it's not really that far away. And some like very general information. I just wanted to talk a little bit about exchange. Exchange can only be done through an agreement, which is, you know, like through an active agreement. And because UNESCO and Freie Universität does not have an agreement currently, you cannot like partake in the, you know, standardized official exchange programs. But that does not mean that you cannot go there to pursue your research, because for that you don't need any agreement. So starting from the PhD level for doctoral research and postdoctoral research, you can always go to Freie Universität Berlin, the same way that our colleague here from TUM, from the Technical University of Munich, and Laura said. So the German system works like that. You know, the prospective researchers enter in contact directly with the potential host and figure out the details, present themselves, and kind of present what they want to bring to the table. And this is also something that I would like to highlight. Most of the times when you approach someone that is, you know, a person that you may respect a lot, or maybe even admire or something, you tend to like belittle yourself a little bit. And I always tell you to not do that, because you are also contributing something. Science is an always ongoing work in progress. So the professor that is maybe hosting you is providing you something, but you're also bringing something to the table. So I think it's a fair exchange, and you should really like look at it as a negotiation. So at Freie Universität Berlin, we also have plenty of structured PhD programs, which can be interesting for some of your students. Although the big majority is done in the German way, which is this like free and very open procedure, where the researchers agree basically on the terms with their host. You can scan the QR code and you will see, and that will lead you to a site where you can find all relevant information for people who are checking in from Brazil for all levels. So even bachelor, which is not really today's audience, but anyways, and then master's, PhD, and postdoc. We also, Freie Universität Berlin also has 4 clusters of excellence. and is the #1 university in funds captured for research in social sciences. Next slide, please. And I wanted to just give you like a small overview of the areas of knowledge more, and also like how the main research foci, combine. So very similarly to Münster, Freie Universität Berlin does not offer engineering. That is basically the only big, like the most notable absence in our curriculum, and also agronomy. So agricultural studies and engineering is kind of tricky, but the rest, humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and life sciences are all provided. And the main things, of the main topics, I would like to highlight some of them, which is biomedical foundations, overall health and quality of life. So that is also One Health approach. Trans-regional relations, which brings the whole involvement of the social sciences, political sciences, and philosophy, and cultural dynamics. And now, for the past decades, the research and materials, new materials, has really gotten a very strong profile at Freie Universität Berlin. Some of these lines have their own funding lines. So biomedical foundations and health and quality of life, they have their own scholarship, in fact, for postdoc researchers who finished their doctorate up to 4 years ago. So if you are in the areas of medicine, chemistry, biology, pharmacy, you can always apply to this fellowship at FU Berlin, and you will find all that information regarding that program under the QR that I shared here. And the last slide is my contact information, and I thank you very much for the invitation and for your time. And I hope to see some of you in Berlin.
Thank you, Christian. I think one important thing that the three have mentioned is that we don't need an agreement for research stays, which makes things easier. So this is something we should point out. If you're going for a research, then we don't need an agreement between UNESCO and the other universities. So that's just something I wanted to stress from the three presentations. And there's one more person from Germany I would like to call to the floor, Thorsten Parchment. I hope I have pronounced your name well, from the University of Beirut.
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much for the invitation. Good morning. So Bayreuth, I'm coming from your perspective from a village. We have only 75,000 inhabitants. Nevertheless, it's a very cultural place. We have 2 opera houses. One of them is UNESCO World Cultural Heritage. So it's a place with a strong history. The university, as well, as you can imagine, is more like, in German standards, a mid-sized university, 12,500 students at the moment. We host 7 faculties, and apart, let's say, from Münster, and to stress the difference a little bit, and FU Berlin, the faculty that we have is engineering, might be for interest for some of you, and apart from that, to certain standards, I would say the 7th faculty that we have, life science, food, health, and nutrition, that is located on a 2nd campus, 20 minutes from the main campus, in a different city. I would say this is quite unique in Germany. It's focusing on, as Christian also stressed, this topic, One Health specifically, and global health. So from a Brazilian point of view, might be very interesting to have a look on that. This is very new, only 3 years old now, the campus, so it's still in a building up process. And looking on our major research areas, I would stress out two more. One is the whole spectrum of polymer sciences, and the other one is our strong research focus on African studies. On African studies, I would consider ourselves amongst the best 3 universities in Europe. Also for Brazilians might be very interesting to have a look on that. What is, let's say, a bit different in Bayreuth and also separates us from other universities is because we are so young. We are the youngest full traditional university in Germany. We will turn 50 next year. We have special designed programs. 1/3 of them in the master level are in English. So we are very international in that hand. And you can also see that if we have the next slide, if we have a look on our research areas, which are also very, very interdisciplinary. I think this is something that we can highlight. So if you are interested to have a look on a more interdisciplinary scheme, then you are heartily welcome to do research with us. We discussed about mobility. Also, if you come on a master level, you can always, and we are happy to have you, you can always join in as a free mover. So that's always a possibility. And then as my colleagues stressed out, of course, we host everyone from PhD level on. We also have joint PhD programs with other Brazilian universities, so that might be also from interest if you consider that. And we have a special graduate school in African studies where we also work together with several Brazilian universities already. Apart from that, how to approach our professors, we have some information on that. So when you're interested to, let's say, get some ideas, I can just underline what my colleagues told already, how to deal with that issue, but you can always address myself. So we shared that information as well in the chat. And then because we are still a rather small university, I can maybe guide you on a personal level as well. Yeah, I think in total, that's it from my side. I make it short because my other colleagues already pointed out the most important and relevant things to consider if you want to come from Brazil to Germany, what to keep in mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thorsten. These are very interesting areas. I see a lot of possibilities of research with UNESP. So I would like to I know that some of the presenters, some of the guests will have to leave soon. I would like to thank them for their participation. I'm sorry that we're running late, but if our audience has questions for you, then we'll forward the questions to you. Thank you. Well, now we'll travel to Canada for our next guests. And I would like to call Carlos Montes from the University of Alberta. Carlos, the floor is yours.
Hi, Anna and Bruno. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. So we leave Europe and we go all the way to the cold Canada, but also it's warm Canada. So let me share. I will share one slide. Just give me one. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna share this. I just need this. Can you see? Can everyone see this? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm from the University of Alberta. Alberta is one of the provinces of Canada. And I would say it's the energy province of Canada. Canada has the third largest oil reserves in the world. And this is what makes our university, the strength of our university around energy and the transition to clean technologies. So the University of Alberta is located in Edmonton. Edmonton has 1 million inhabitants, and the whole province of Alberta has 4 million people. We are a big university. We are a comprehensive university. We are a research-intensive university. So there are 3 different categories of universities in Canada. And research-intensive universities are big universities very focused on research. We rank within the top 5 universities in Canada. And depending on the ranking, we are within the top 100 in the world. And I just wanted to highlight this brochure that I have with me, because we are a very interdisciplinary university. We have almost all programs at the university. We don't have a faculty of architecture. We don't have also vet school, veterinary school, but we do have some programs like animal science and landscaping. So we have more than 400 graduate programs. This is actually the brochure of the graduate programs. And we welcome students, different students from all over the world to do research internships. It could be at the undergraduate level, it could be at the graduate level, PhD level, even postdoc level. We don't charge any fee to do this sort of internships. As long as any student finds a potential supervisor that is willing to host them, they can come to our university. And I just wanted to show this list of graduate programs that we have, because one of the tips for students looking for potential professors is maybe understand that universities in Canada, especially research-intensive universities, the structure is a little bit different in terms of not only what the professor is doing, but also the program itself. So I came across with different students from Latin America that, for instance, are doing engineering programs in their countries. They ended up doing research internships at the Faculty of Science or School of Public Health. So the idea of looking at potential supervisor is not only looking into the same faculty you are taking your program in your home country. You should get familiar with the university you want to go to do your research and understand the structure a little bit. The structures are different in different parts of the world. We don't have an engineering program. I actually work at the Faculty of Engineering. And many engineers from Latin America usually ended up doing research either at the Faculty of Agricultural Life and Environmental Sciences, if the area of research is more towards like the agricultural part. But also many engineers, they go to the Faculty of Science. We have chemical engineering, but we also have chemistry. We do work together, and there are different areas that are interdisciplinary. As you can see, our brochure is very, very, very big. We have different programs. We have medicine as well. Any student interested in doing research in the medicine field is welcome. And I would also say that it's very important for students when they contact professors, not only to send like I call it empty emails. You should find a link. Why do you want this professor? Or why do you want to work with this professor? There should be something that is of your interest of the professor. It's also important to attach some documents for the professor. So maybe your CV is very important. And maybe a small statement of research, or I call mostly like a presentation, a statement of personal presentation, explaining what are you doing in your home institution, why you would like to go under the supervision of the professor, and what are you expecting to achieve after your research internship in Canada at the University of Alberta. We had great experiences with research visitors. We had joint publications. We even had, we started seed funding programs with the students that just came to do some sort of research. We do a lot of research with industry, and we try to connect always industry in Canada and industry in Brazil together because our issues are kind of similar. So I would say you can send me an email to me, and I can also guide you because of the different areas that we have. So in Alberta, we have the 4 seasons. It's not always cold, it's also hot. And we do get a lot of students from Brazil actually as research interns in winter, believe it or not. So I would stop there.
Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, it's important to stress that this idea that Canada is only snow is not really true, right? So in Alberta, you have other seasons as well.
Yeah, but it's true as well. We have snow and it's very cold sometimes. Could be up to -40, but actually that's a strength for us because we do a lot of research, for example, in mining. It's like how to mine in cold weather, for example, or the north. It's also a strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your participation. And now also from Canada, I would like to call Cecilia Fulford from the Queen's University.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm having some issues with the audio and visual, so I think I will just speak because the format is a bit strange on my end, so I apologize for that. Okay. So thank you, Anna and Bruno, for this invitation. It was lovely to meet both of you just a few short weeks ago in person. My name is Sheila Wolford. I work in the Central International Office, and I'll do a brief presentation of Queen's University. So we are an institution at the forefront of Canadian teaching and research innovation. We are among the oldest universities in Canada and have a long history of scholarship discovery and innovation. We are located in Kingston, Ontario, and we are a small city that's halfway between Toronto and Montreal. We are a medium-sized university with around 31,000 undergraduate and graduate students. As my friend and colleague Carlos mentioned, we are also a comprehensive research-intensive university. Queen's offers all the disciplines except for veterinary science and dentistry. We are research-intensive, known for our research and learning, boasting strengths in diverse fields, including AI, machine learning, cancer research, clean energy innovation, mining, engineering, physics, and art conservation. We have state-of-the-art infrastructure from Canada's only coastal engineering laboratory to Snow Lab, a physics lab that facilitates groundbreaking discoveries, and master's program like our Master of Art Conservation, which distinguishes as a leader in the arts in Canada. We have notable achievements like Dr. Arthur MacDonald, who won a Nobel Prize in Physics, and Queen's alumnus, Dr. David Card, for a Nobel Prize in Economics. Beyond the academics, we offer an unparalleled student experience. We have students on campus from 119 countries, a very diverse and inclusive community that fosters global learning and engagement. We have modern facilities, student services, and a vibrant campus culture, including the highest number of student clubs per capita in Canada, ensuring that our students thrive both academically and personally. In terms of what we can offer you and what can be of interest. So currently we don't have any type of formalized collaboration between Queen's and UNESCO, but we hope that will change in the future. However, even besides that, we welcome visiting researchers for short-term visiting stays at both the master's and doctoral programs. And for these short-term stays, we don't charge tuition, but the key is that a supervisor needs to be found, as many of our colleagues on the call have already mentioned. Further, we are very interested in developing the opportunities for co-tutels with partners in Brazil, such as UNESP, what you call a sandwich PhD program that can offer you an opportunity to stay abroad. We would welcome to host you at Queen's and work with you and encourage and support you with the idea of turning that into ultimately a co-tutel where you would receive a degree from both. Of course, for both the visiting research stays and for a co-tutel, the supervisor is the key. On our end, like I'm sure in many other universities, do your research would be my biggest recommendation. We have all of our faculty members that have their profiles listed on our website. So it would be to find out those interests and see how they align with yours and propose a joint project that you can work on. As my colleague Carlos mentioned, don't send empty emails, but have some concrete project that you're interested in moving forward with. I will also share some links in the chat that can help you orient. So thank you very much for the opportunity to present Queen's University, and I hope to hear from some of you following this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, it's very important, this tip of sending specific emails to the supervisors, saying why you would like to work with them and what to expect from this partnership to your research. This is excellent for our students to think about on how to reach people when they're writing to someone in an international university. And also the idea of co-tutels. So this is very important too. Thank you. Our two next guests, two final guests, they will talk about consortiums of universities, not a specific university, but consortiums of universities. So the first one I will call to the floor is Rodrigo Delgado from the Caldo Consortium from Canada, which involves the Queen's University and University of Alberta, but some others. So Rodrigo, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Anna and Bruno, for the invitation. I am very pleased to be here, along many very nice colleagues from Canada and other countries as well. So thank you for the invitation. So quickly, because I'm not going to repeat many of the things that my colleagues have already said, I'm just going to mention a little bit about the consortium. I'm going to share quickly my a couple of slides, and that's it. So this one. So just in order to, can you see exactly my, okay, perfect. So in order to complement what my colleagues from the University of Alberta and Sheila from Queen's were just saying, I'm going to mention that overall, it is very important to think in a way that the students interested in coming to do research internships at undergraduate level and graduate level, they need to think in a way that is a competitive process, you know? So something that is important to highlight why they should be the right person to be part of that specific process, and why the professor or researcher at any of our universities should host that specific student. And that's because the many students, not only from Brazil and Sao Paulo, are trying to reach out to our professors. And of course, as you can imagine, they are not able to accept all the presentations, and the students willing to work in the lab with the specific professor. So that is something important to keep in mind, because it is a competitive process, and sometimes you have to insist, if you don't get an answer, just to follow up the conversation, because many times the professors, they have tons of emails and they need to go quickly to choose what is going to be the answer. So, and my last topic on that specifically is just to mention that it's crucial to be very clear from the first line, subject of the email, exactly what you are looking for. Otherwise, if you are wasting too much words in the first paragraph of your email, probably you are going to lose your opportunity to get the professor engaged with your communication right away. Okay, so that's exactly one of the things. So just I want to explain briefly about the Caldo consortium, and I know that we are running out of time. So, and of course, I want to give enough time to my colleague Jill from Calarea as well. So Caldo is a consortium of top Canadian research universities, and we have been working in Latin America since 2011. Caldo was created by Canadian universities, the top research universities in Canada, just to facilitate the graduate mobility of students from Latin American countries. So as you know, Canada is a bilingual country, so we do offer programs in English and in French as well, which is very important for us. So Canada has several universities, and many of them working in through the Caldo consortium, and some of them, as you can imagine, are offering their programs in English, others in French, and even some of them, such as the University of Ottawa, they can offer programs in both languages, so English or French, which is a great way to learn both languages here in Canada as well. And in terms of what Caldo does, basically we facilitate this mobility through government signing agreements, with government agencies and funding partners in Latin America. And at the same time, we do exactly what we were just chatting with Anna and Bruno just a couple of weeks ago at FAUBAI, where we were discussing how we can improve and how we can move forward more connections and relationships for welcoming here in Canada, and of course sending students to Brazil, mostly under the logic of research internships, because we understand and we have realized that is going to be the easiest way in many times, because as you were just mentioning a few minutes ago, Anna, it is not required to have necessarily or mandatory an agreement to do that kind of mobility between Brazilian universities and Canadian universities. Of course, if we are talking about exchanging students following specific courses, in that case will be mandatory. But especially for research masters and PhD, it is a wonderful way to connect and to facilitate mobility between students, and also to leverage that communication to make better connections with professors as well. So those are the universities that belong to the consortium right now. The consortium is growing at this moment with other universities. So University of Alberta and Queen's have been the universities that have been right now presenting colleagues. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, we do have more universities in English, such as Waterloo and McMaster University, but also Université Laval in French, and Ottawa, which is a bilingual university. Just to finish, I would like to mention that through our consortium, we can facilitate the communication between the students and candidates for different programs at Canadian universities. And that is something that, of course, is very relevant, even thinking about short-term programs, because they need to think about where is going to be the ideal university first. city as well, and also, without any doubt, the country where they would like to go to do their research studies. So a lot of information could be found through our website, caldo.ca. And there is a lot of information about our universities and how to get connected with our people at Caldo, and at the same time with the universities directly. And here you have many contact details where you can reach us without any problem. So caldo@caldo.ca is a very good way to connect with us. Just telling us exactly what you are looking for, what we can do together in order to improve the relationships and foster the development of new partnerships with Brazilian universities. So you could follow us through the different channels as well that you can see here: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And of course, more than happy to keep this communication going on with every one of you anytime. So thank you so much. If someone wants to reach me directly, of course, I can write down here as well my email. So thank you, Anna. Thank you, Bruno. And thank you to all my colleagues as well.
Thank you, Rodrigo. We'll be sending all this information that you shared to our participants, and they'll be able to reach you out with questions.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say that in the previous part of the meeting, we talked about ELAP, so they also have information about that and scholarships for Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for our last guest, Jill Sherman from the Calerio Consortium in Canada. I know that Jill was having some problems with her microphone. I don't know if she's still here. Jill? She said that she would maybe re-enter. Oh, she's here. Okay. Are you able to talk to us?
Testing, testing?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you, Bruno, for inviting us to be here today. We're really happy to talk with you. I'm going to see if I can just share my one slide today. No. There. So my name is Jill Sherman. I am the Secretariat of the Calerio Consortium. And I just have a really brief slide here to show an overview about who and what Calerio is. It stands for Canada and Latin America Research and Exchange Opportunities. We are a newer consortium than Caldo. We've been around since 2017, and we currently have 6 member institutions across Canada. Our members spread coast to coast, so we have all time zones involved, which makes scheduling a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but I'm going to talk just very briefly about our members. So starting on the West Coast, on the Pacific Coast, we have Vancouver Island University. VIU is primarily an undergraduate university, but it has a number of graduate programs and specialized research institutes, such as the Biosphere Reserve for ecological research. Thompson Rivers University is also in British Columbia. Again, another smaller, primarily undergraduate university, again, with some specialized research opportunities, including animal sciences and agriculture. York University is a very large urban university located in Toronto, along with Carleton University, which is a comprehensive university in Ottawa. So those are our large major urban universities. If you were interested in something like public policy or political science, we would steer you towards Carleton because it's in our nation's capital. And of course, those are some of the programs they would excel in. But again, very comprehensive. Across all of our members, you're going to find any program you want, with the possible exception of, unfortunately, veterinary sciences, because there are only 5 vet schools in all of Canada. We're working on it, though. Finally, Lakehead University, which is where I am located, is in Northern Ontario. Unlike Memorial University, which is on the East Coast and the Atlantic Ocean, and Vancouver Island, which is on the Pacific Ocean, and they both have programs related to ocean sciences. Lakehead University is on the world's largest freshwater lake, so we specialize in freshwater resources. And then again, all of our universities are comprehensive. We have natural resources and environmental sciences, engineering and technology, social sciences, health. Again, across our members, we pretty much have it all. And then back finally to Memorial University, where over 50% of its research has some connection to the ocean. So it is really a special university in Canada. Colorado, like I said, as a consortium, we work together primarily to expand research collaboration between our member universities and Latin American universities. While our members, of course, welcome degree-seeking candidates, our main focus is going to be on research mobility. So we work with our partner institutions in Latin America. We coordinate and collaborate on things such as ELAP applications for students. We do not get enough graduate student research applications, so I'm putting it out there. Next year, we hope to see some graduate student research applications from UNESCO students. We also have an agreement with MyTax, which is a Canadian nonprofit organization that funds student research mobility through the Global Link Research Award Program. We have a special allocation for students from Latin America, or for our students to go to Latin America. So that is an option as well. I would echo what all of my colleagues have said about the important tips on finding a research supervisor. If you email me, I can send you a tip sheet, which includes all of those things. It's really key to make sure you understand why you want to work with the professor, as we've already stated. About the only thing I could add to what has already been stated is that use some of the tools you've already been working on in your research. For example, if you've done a literature review, you know what the important pieces of literature in your field are. You can identify researchers who are working in your same research area through your literature review. It's really more important about who you're working with for the research collaboration. And then just pointing out the fact that we know that you, the students, when you do these research mobility stays, you're the bridge between our universities and between your host professor here in Canada and your home professor back in Brazil. And we know that you can rely on your professors to, make those collaborations and build those collaborations, there will be more opportunities in the future as well. So rely on your professors to help you make these connections as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and we can maybe have some questions.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jill. Unfortunately, because we are very late with our schedule, we won't have time for questions, but we encourage our audience to send the questions directly to you, to all the participants, the guests who participated. Now we'll be sharing your contacts with them, and they will send you the questions directly. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay. So I'd like to thank our guests again for this excellent roundtable. I'm sure that the information shared and discussed here today will immensely help our community in seeking contact with professors abroad, professors at your universities and your consortiums. Thank you very much.